feel like I'm on the Appalachian Trail, except for I'm carrying coffee.
And I'm carrying a huge camera. Oh wait, we did that on the Appalachian Trail too.
Oh, it just went up a degree. It was 16 degrees like a few minutes ago.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Morning, Larry.
It was very, very well done. I gotta say it was. I enjoyed that thing. It took me a couple of days to watch it all. Second day, once I started it, I had to sit. I had to watch the whole thing. I didn't know you had a drone and all that with you. That is crazy. That was crazy. Cross the bridges and all that kind of stuff. Be able to see yourselves like you're like watching it professionally. I guess it is professionally done, you know?
We're in the hole like 40 bucks because I guess our kids came here and we were in Florida, so we had to pay it back. Marianne, our neighbor, just offered us a ride home.
Which, if I end up falling on my ass, I may regret not taking it.
But we got a vlog on the way home, so we decided to walk. At today's business meeting, we talked about publishing books and kind of creating a schedule for that. Our goal is actually to publish 3 books this year, which is really kind of crazy.
And we've never published one.
We've never published one.
Technically, Ben's done, what, 2 ebooks?
Yeah, there you go.
Like 10 years ago.
We have our Appalachian Trail book, a book that I've been writing for 6 years about money, which I want to have done by my 40th birthday in July. We just came up with that deadline. We think we need to do kind of a family retreat to discuss a lot of this like whole no rules thing and have some conversations in place of that.
I feel like I'm on the Appalachian Trail, except for I'm carrying coffee.
And I'm carrying a huge camera. Oh wait, we did that on the Appalachian Trail too. And we narrowed down down to 2 subtitles for our Appalachian Trail book. So we put a poll up on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll see like what you guys think. Making progress. You know, I watched this video this week about procrastinators and procrastination, and the guy was saying that there's 2 types of procrastination. There's kinds that force you into action at the last minute and get things done, and there's kinds that basically just perpetually make you feel guilty and crappy. And you know what the difference is? The difference is a deadline. If you have a deadline, procrastinators will still get things done. It will just be at the last minute. But if you don't have a deadline, things never, ever, 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 ever get done. And what we've realized is that at work and school, things have deadlines, right? Like bosses are telling you to do things and shareholders are demanding whatever. But on home things, there's never a deadline. No one is like, you know, telling you to plan this family vacation or, you know, schedule this time with your children. So we found it extremely beneficial, to, oh, look at this. Tammy, don't die. We found it extremely beneficial to get together and essentially create deadlines for ourselves for things that we think are valuable.
But what happens when you create the deadline? The deadline comes and then you're just like, ah, I'm gonna make a new deadline. And you perpetually push it. I've done that before. I don't even really want to talk about this because it's not the kind of thing that is very accepted in our culture. But I'm going to, because it's good for me, and I don't think I'm the only person that struggles with this kind of thing. I was putting Rainier to bed for his nap, and he's been having a hard time napping, getting up a ton, not really taking a nap, which is frustrating. Today was an ordinary day where he kept getting up, and I told him that if he got out of his bed, he would get a spank. I don't use that very often. I've come to believe that I don't feel like spanking's usually the best option. But with little kids, it's tough. It's really tough to be able to motivate them. So this was one of those moments where I'm just like, I'm going to say this. And I've said this in the past, but I haven't had to really follow through and spank him. And so, but today he kept getting up. So the first time he got up, I gave him a little spank that I don't even think hurt him. But he just started wailing and just, yeah, got really, really upset. And I left. He stayed in bed, got out again, repeated that whole thing. But the second time he said this thing where he says, I just want you to say sorry. And I was like, what? So I already wasn't really in a great place. I didn't really want to spank him, but I felt like there was nothing else I could do because it's so, I really wanted him to take a nap. I saw two other courses I could take. Either just give up on the nap altogether, which I've done, or keep coming upstairs and keep putting him to bed, which I know like frustrates me to no end, and I didn't want to do that. I was already doing it 3 or 4 times, but I didn't want to do it 10 or 15 times. So he's saying this thing to me that I'm just like, I start feeling like, oh man, like I don't know if I should have spanked him, because I think I ended up spanking him 2 or 3 times. Again, not very hard at all, but you know, he got upset every single time, and just one like little swat on his leg. And so he kept saying this thing of just like, I just want you to say sorry. Finally, the 3rd time after that, I asked him, and I knew this wasn't a fair question like to ask an almost 3-year-old, but I still just wanted, it's like I was trying to figure out the answer. And I asked him, I said, why do you want me to say sorry? And I could tell he was like trying to like mull that over in his head, and he didn't really know. But finally he said, this is a problem. And so I felt really conflicted. I felt like, okay, if I say sorry to him, am I giving in to manipulation? If I don't say sorry to him, is this really going to hurt him emotionally? And I finally just decided to say sorry. I said, I'm sorry, Rainier. And I gave him a hug, and I told him I loved him, and I asked him if he could lay down, and he did, and he ended up taking a nap after that. But I told Ben about it afterwards. I just felt really crappy and confused. And I just felt like my heart is just not in the spankings anymore. Not that I ever like super was, but I used to believe in them. Like I used to believe oh, this is a good thing. But now I just hardly have anything left that I believe in when it comes to spankings. I'm really kind of just left thinking, I don't know if I want to spank him anymore, period, but especially with nap time, you know, I'm just gonna have to find out another way, another system for myself to keep sane, because I get it, like I have to keep sane myself, but as I'm talking to you, I'm wondering, okay, maybe I'll do this, because I already do this timer thing for him. I put on an hour timer, and then if he's still awake and he hears the timer, he can get up. So I think I might keep that, but I think in addition to that, maybe I'll decide, okay, I'll put him to bed, back to bed 3 times. And after the 3rd time, if he's still getting up, I'm just gonna call it. But then I think, but will he know? And then he'll never take a nap again. But that's the thing, like, even when he fights his nap and he doesn't take a nap, the next day he's more tired and he usually takes a nap. So I think it's me letting go of, I might just not get, 2 hours without my 2-year-old. And I think I'll survive. But it's tough, things that you're expecting things to go a certain way, and then they don't, and then, you have to adjust and stuff. I'm like scared to talk about this kind of stuff because CPS is real. I know. I've met them. I just think there's not a ton of grace out there for parenting either mistakes or parenting mishaps or just working things out publicly. Parenting, there's I've learned, through stuff that happened to us recently, that there's just I shouldn't say no grace, because I know a lot of people watching this have that grace, but there's just a lot of ungrace out there, which I think is really unfortunate, because I know every parent alive isn't perfect. So therefore, if they can admit it to themselves, they realize that they make mistakes relationally with their kids. And it's just sad to me that it can't be talked about more openly. So maybe this is my way of saying, fuck that. Let's talk about it openly. Because everyone deals with it.
It is time to go out and smoke a cigar and drink some bourbon. I have a beer with the guys because it's Tuesday night. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, it's toasty out there.
Hey, the attraction, I'm curious to get insight into that piece, right? In the midst of all this stuff.
Oh man, just finished hanging out with the guys in the shed for our Tuesday night bourbon and cigars, and I had the chance to share with these guys some of this letter that we received on Friday. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was just this kind of really difficult news that Cammie and I received. And it was so, first of all, it was difficult to share this. I don't know why. I think there's just past trauma that comes up for me. But it was so healing just to bring this out into the open and just see people get angry about this letter, because I don't think I had allowed myself to be angry anymore, or I think I've, some of it I've already worked through, but just to see other people get pissed off and talk about it and just not be afraid of it was so helpful for me. So I was just really thankful for that experience. Yeah, I'm glad I did it. And I just don't think that feeling that I have now you could get that any other way, but just I'm glad I shared that. It felt like, oh, I'm bringing the attention to myself. It felt like, oh, I don't want to make other people look bad. And, I had all these reasons to not bring it up, but I just decided I'm just going to bring it up and just like leave it there and just like see what people say. Just open the conversation. And I just like did, and I just let it go. And it was really healing for me. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.